Oh, it's one of the best times of the year. We've got Saratoga up and running. Monmouth Park has the Haskell this weekend, and Del Mar is opening up. Opening day is Friday, July the 18th. And the first couple days of Del Mar look fantastic. 9, 10 horse fields, basically every single race. You are having massive fields, quality, quantity. You really want to be playing Del Mar this weekend. Now, before we dive into the Del Mar card for Friday, I'm going to take a quick run through the card. We'll look at the full card, give you some thoughts on each race, and encourage you to head on over to shop.drf.com. Get your past performances, clocker reports, any help you need playing the races over at Del Mar. We also have a brand new feature that's called DRF A.I. Want to let everybody know about. If you're someone who has any questions, you want to improve your gambling, or maybe you have some friends that are new to racing, maybe you yourself are new to racing and you just want to find out as much as you can. This is a brand new AI tool built by the trusted experts at Daily Racing Forum, backed by 130 years of data, powered by cutting-edge AI from OpenAI. Whether you're a diehard bettor, just racing curious, DRF AI makes horse racing easy, fun, and approachable. You can ask any questions like this to explain horse racing odds. It'll get in depth for you. Maybe you want to know what a trifecta is, curious how to spot a long shot. It's going to be free all throughout the Saratoga meet. And we want to gain information to see how to use it, how folks want to use it. So the more that you're using it now, it's going to help us shape this tool for you, just to give everybody else another tool to help in your handicapping, in your wagering. DRF AI, horse racing made easy. Just ask. You can scan that QR code or you can take a look. I'm going to take a look at the Friday card at Del Mar. 10 race card kicks off at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. I want to mention, if you're someone who's going to be playing these races a lot, think about the takeout. Early pick 5, only 14% takeout. Late double and late pick 3, those are low takeout wagers. The late pick 5, though, is, and pick 4s, pick 3s like that, those are 23 and above. Exactas, daily doubles, those are 20 and 22% takeout. But win, place, and show is really solid as well. That's 15, just above 15%. So if you're going to be playing a lot, for me, early pick 5s, win wagers quite a bit with those low takeouts, and then late doubles and late pick 3s with low takeout and the higher minimums, those pay out really, really well. So my wagers are going to be focused on those a lot throughout the Del Mar meet. Win wagers, early pick 5s, and then late doubles and late pick 3s. Let's start out at Del Mar, see if we can lead you to a few winners on opening day. Race number 1, on paper, I didn't think there's that much early speed in here. And if you look at the Timeform US Pace Projector, it favors front runners. I want to make sure to use a couple of the horses that I think will be forwardly placed. Timeform US has the 9 joint venture from the outside. I actually think the 1 as well, who's a big long shot at 20-1, coming in from Sunray Park. We have seen a lot of horses through the years come in from the tracks in New Mexico, come over and perform really, really well at Del Mar. And I think this is a horse who has some inside speed and can be forwardly placed. The projector has this one in the mix early on. So 1's going to be in the mix for me, Attila the Dun. 9, I think, very logical. The outside draw, joint venture, has speed. But I'm not sure if this one really wants to sit off the pace all that much. Both of those are major players. We move to the 5, who I actually think is like the horse to beat. I'm just a little worried from a running style standpoint. If he gets caught a little too far behind, he's gotten outrun a little bit in his last couple races. Still ran pretty well in there behind Navajo Warrior, who has been in really nice form. I think we've seen Navajo Warrior rattle off 3 consecutive wins, earned a 95 Beyer speed figure in doing so last time out. 1, 5, 9, all over the place for me. 7's going to be in the mix a little bit as well. Ready to Pounce could sit a great trip. Got a little bit disappointing in the last couple races when he dropped into 16. I was hoping for a bit more in those starts, but he should get the right type of trip in here. He's proven at Del Mar, and I'm not going to get knocked out right away by a logical horse like this. You want to go a little deeper to the 3. Zimba Warrior will come running late if they go fast enough early on. I'm just not sure he gets the setup, but he has run well at Del Mar. So 1, 5, and 9 all over. 3 and 7 super logical horses. Race 1 kicks off that early pick 5. Let's move to race number 2. This one is a 50 starter allowance, going a mile on the turf course here. The 6 Night Out, I thought, ran well on June the 7th to set up for this. That was in a tougher spot behind News at 10. And News at 10, there was no passing in that race. Won that race wire to gate to wire. So Night Out was inside, was able to kind of angle out after some traffic, just missed second. I thought ran pretty well that day. He makes a whole lot of sense in here. The 1, while not a win machine as of late, when you're just looking at some of the races that he exits and speed figures, he fits pretty well with this group. He was also in that June 7th race where nobody passed. So, yeah, he didn't really make up ground, but nobody was making up ground in that race because News at 10 won gate to wire. Prior to that, he was facing better horses in the first level allowance ranks, and he had a couple races that were pretty decent. Just seems like he really needs some help. But if he's 5-1 or above, he actually fits pretty well with this group. These aren't win machines. Nobody in here is. Then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have the 3, Let Seamus Go, who wants to be forward. He ran really well going a mile and an eighth when breaking his maiden 2 starts back. And then he just missed last time out when he faced winners for the first time. I think he's very, very logical. 6, 1, and 3 will be in the mix for me a lot. There's another tier of horses, though, right below them that don't feel overmatched. Like the 2, Mr. Leisure. Blinkers coming on. You look back at those sprints on the turf back in January and March. There's nothing wrong with those races. Not at all. I wouldn't be shocked to see this one run well. Blinkers coming on for Yak Teen. I mean, you look at horses like the 5, Pacific Quest, who could sit really close. And, you know, I just don't know what kind of trip. Like, if he got a soft trip in winning last time out. You're looking at Let Seamus Go, who will show speed. Are they going to be battling? Let Seamus Go, Targaryen, probably up front pushing it. I just don't know if they're going to be lining up across the track. So, I mean, looking at a horse like Mr. Leisure, is he going to be forward with the blinkers coming on? His sprint races were close, but the race he went long on the turf wasn't as good. Like, his sprint races have just been better. I kind of went back and forth with him. That's why I had him in that next tier with the 2, 5, even the 4. If you're going really deep, it's not like those races are bad at Gulfstream Park. You'll have to get a little bit faster. But I kind of had him separated into 2 tiers for my own personal wagering. I had the 1, 3, 6 as kind of that top tier of runners that I'm going to use all over. If you're someone who's going a little bit deeper, that next grouping of horses I would look at would be the 2, the 4, and the 5. It's race number 2 at Del Mar. Moving to race number 3. This one's 25 non-winners of 3, going 6 furlongs on the dirt. I think the 4 is going to set a pretty nice trip in here, Jarama. This horse has not done much wrong in his career. He's had ability, but you see the layoff lines and are his own worst, and he's his own worst enemy. That's the biggest concern you have, is he races a couple times, then he's off for 10 months. Then he races a couple times, he's off from September to June. Shows back up in June with a really nice win at Los Alamitos. I think they've been really logical about where they've placed him because he's not a horse who's been able to string a whole lot together. Feels like a good spot for him, second start back. The 6 Toughness, feel like it's in a really nice spot. He beat 32 claimers 2 starts back and then tried the turf last time out. Feel like he's probably the horse to beat in here. I'll also be including the 7 Cupid's Crusader just from a trip standpoint. Seeing the way this race could shape up, curious what Timeform US thinks on the projector. So they don't think they'll be flying early, and they have Toughness as sort of the horse to catch. I do wonder, look at Western Avenue. He really wants to go. His best races are when he's on the lead. He won on the lead a few starts back. It doesn't really seem like he wants to pass horses all that much. I think he wants to be forward. Same can be said for Invincible. This horse's best races are really when he's been able to be forward. He can pass horses a little bit, but not really been one that's sat off and blown by horses throughout a lot of his career. Nijinsky Halo wants to be more forward than he was able to in his last couple, and he's actually shown pretty decent speed in some. You get to Magic Account, I think, who wants to be forward. Toughness looks really quick, and you start getting through 3 or 4 of these horses at least who want the lead. I'm looking for some horses that can sit nicely. Thought the 4 Drama was one of them. Thought the 7 Captain's Cupid's Crusader was another. I'll include with the 6 Toughness, who I think is the best of the speed horses there. That's race number 3 at Del Mar. Moving to the 4th race, the 5 furlongs on the turf could be really beneficial for Kangaroo Court. This is a Calbred who had a lot of talent earlier on in his career, and he's starting to round back into form and show you some of his better races. Look at how he started. He won his second start by 14 lengths, came back in his third start with a 95 Beyer speed figure and won the Echo Eddie in his fourth start, and he went over to the Pat Day Mile at Churchill Downs. He was actually favored. He was 4-1. It was a wide open race, but he was favored in that race. And following that, he had a layoff. Then he showed back up in the Real Good Deal, did not fire, and was off for, a year and a half from August of 2023 to March of 2025. And you could see it's kind of took him a little while to get back into form. It was really the turf and moving to the grass where he perked up in his last 3. And you saw that same speed from him that he showed earlier in his career. Now you get the cut back to 5 furlongs. I think it's a really good opportunity for him to get back into the winner's circle at the shorter distance with the blinkers going on. They can just send him and hope that the 5 furlongs is not going to be too much for him. Kangaroo Court. From the outside, even though it's a tough draw, Bad Uncle Barry has enough tactical speed to sit close. Shout out to our good friend, Barry Spears. Bad Uncle Barry, I think, will sit close from the outside. The 10 Itzel has enough speed from out there to get over and has shown that she can maybe fall into a nice trip. Coming out of some solid races as well. 5, 11, 10 for me in this 4th race. A couple horses that I wasn't really sure what to do with, like the 2 Better Days Are Coming. That one wouldn't really shock me. Or the 6, Anmer Hall, who seems to have a little bit of versatility and can come flying late at 5 furlongs here. But for Anmer Hall, the knock was the layoff. We haven't seen this horse in almost a full year. I'm going to go Kangaroo Court on top. We'll go 5, 11, and 10 all over the place in Del Mar's 4th race. We move to the 5th race here. I was a little surprised when I saw the morning line odds pop on the 1 Legal Air. I'd be surprised if this horse is anything over like 7-2, honestly. Training well, was sitting 3rd on the outside, went up to challenge the leader in a race that was won by gate to wire, fast Bob Baffert runner. And the runner-up, Sierra Silver, came back to win the next start with a 95 Beyer speed figure. Exiting a strong race. Now Mandela's had a little time to work on him and get him pointed for this race at Del Mar, where they're running for a really nice purse. $100,000 for these maiden special weights. So you get a little more money here. You can understand why they may have got that first race and the fitness and the foundation and showed some speed. You look at the rest of the field. Maybe one of the quicker horses down on the inside, Legal Air. I always like playing horses at 6.5 and 7 furlongs that have experience versus the first-time starters. So the 1 Legal Air will be including all over. The 2 Lannister looks pretty tough, training well in the mornings. Not necessarily a horse that I would think about sprinting on the dirt. You can see the Dam was more turf and like long on the turf. This is the first full. But has been showing ability in the mornings for Baffert. The 7, Tap and Go. I also like the work I saw from Tap and Go. Was working inside of a rival, ears up, and didn't let that one go by. You can find a couple of the works from Tap and Go on First TV. which is a really nice tool for your handicapping. You can look at a lot of the horses working out in the mornings. A lot of these first-time starters. I like the 1. Might play a ticket or two where I single the 1 horse to end this early pick 5 sequence. I'll use 1, 2, and 7 in a lot of spots here. Others that I think are super logical. Maybe I'll have 1 ticket where I have 3, 4, and 5. Wouldn't be shocking to see any of them run well, and I would be shorter in the earlier races and kind of keying on the horses I like there. But for me in this 5th race, a lot of the 1 with 2s and 7s. That's race number 5. Moving to the 6th, it's an optional 80 non-winners of 2 on the turf course. The 1 City Exile on May the 3rd was inside and got caught behind horses with nowhere to go. Was pretty unlucky in the Whittingham there. I'll definitely be using the 1. The 4 Genius Jimmy catches a good field here that does not have a whole ton of other early speed. There's a couple horses in here that have shown speed at some point in their career, but they're not consistent speed horses. That's what makes Genius Jimmy solid. You know what you're going to get from him. He's going to be close up early on, and if nobody else is pushing him, he'll run really well and could win this thing. I have 1 and 4 all over. The next tier that I move down to, horses like the 10, Elwood Blues. Now he's stretching out. Did they get aggressive with this horse and try to put him on the lead? That makes life a little bit more difficult for Genius Jimmy. That helps a horse more like City Exile who wants to sit off. The 11, Ion Rye. I like this horse. He fits at this level. The draw isn't great, but he's good enough to win this race with the right kind of trip. The 8 is another one, Irish Prophet, who's getting the ultimate equipment change. He's been at this non-2 level for a while. And you've known that he's got some ability. Maybe the gelding can just kind of put him over the top because he hasn't been far off in some spots like this, including at Del Mar. What's tough about this race, you can even go to deeper horses and make cases like the 3, Mondigo. Look, he used to show some speed going a little bit longer. Maybe he could put himself in a nice spot here. And the 7, Siennois, was a nice winner on November the 30th, but we haven't seen this one now since January 4th, so it's getting to be quite a layoff for Siennois. Maybe keep an eye on him for his next start back in the meet. 1 and 4 for me, all over. I like City Exile. Genius Jimmy feel will run well. The 10 stretching out, kind of an interesting pace factor if they try to send this horse. I also thought the 11 Ion Rye fits really well with this group. 8's a bigger price, but it all starts with the 1 and 4 as my top tier. We move along to race number 7. 7th race kicks off the late pick 4 sequence. We've got Calbred, maiden special weight, 2-year-old fillies going 5 furlongs on the dirt. 11 is out. The 4 Mustang Nicky. A couple things I like to look at. The dam of this horse was a 2-time winner. Dam won the career debut. So this horse has a little ability. Was in some stakes races you could see and showed precocity. She has 2 foals that have raced so far, both of them winners. And one of them, Shared Vision, won her only start. So now we know the dam won her debut. One of her foals won the debut, and both of her foals are winners. So you see on the pedigree side, some precocity and with solid little pedigree. Now we can move to the workouts, which you can check out on first.tv. I thought they're pretty solid. One of them was starting 4 lengths. The last couple workouts, one of them was starting 4 lengths behind a workmate, moved up inside of the workmate and drew off really well. Another one was fast early from the outside. And if you look at the barn and their success with first-time starters, go to first-timers, and you can see over the last 5 years, 17% with the 230 ROI. So when I'm looking at first-time starters or races that have a lot of first-time starters, there are a couple things I'm looking to see. Are there any workouts that I can see visually? Is it a steady work tab and a pattern? Yes and yes. Liked what I saw. Pattern and the work tab coming in looks good. Nothing really missing, right? July 3rd, July 11th, about 8 days space there. June 26th to July 3rd, that's fine. June 19th to June 26th, that's good. So you're looking at the spacing, you're looking at the actual works themselves. I thought both good. You're looking at the pedigree, precocity, damn, solid, both winners. And then we're looking at the barn and how capable are they with first time starters. You want to just check a few different boxes. This one does. Mustang Nikki. The 5 was also interesting. Source completely missed the break on June the 14th. It was almost 15 lengths behind. Really showed some nice late energy and was chasing a gate to wire winner. So 4 and 5 all over the place for me. Next one would be the 8, Kara Rose, who has been fine in both of her races. She actually faced Open Company last time out. Now she moves back in with Calbreds and she moves back to the dirt. 4, 5, 8. Wasn't sure what to do with the 2. Kiss Me Coco. Mainly because Corner does really well with first-time starters with young horses like this. He has a way to get them ready to fire, have them show speed, get them out of the gate. 4, 5, 8, maybe the 2 if you wanted to go a little bit deeper in race number 7. Moving to the 8th race. This one is the Oceanside Mile on the turf course here. One horse that I was really impressed with and I will absolutely be using is the number 10, Bodhisattva. He was in the cinema. He was 3-4 wide early. He was wide and in between horses at the top of the lane. He kept trying really hard in that race, and it was won by a horse named Freedom's Not Free, who sat a very nice trip, sitting second, and was able to move to the front. I was really impressed with Bodhisattva. Also like Game Warrior coming out of that very same race, just the trip that both of them had. I do respect the 3, Ironman Cal, who I think is the horse to beat. Then from a speed standpoint, I'm just a little worried. I do feel like it could set up for some of the off the pace horses when you look at the way the race, the pace projector has it for Timeform US. They've got the 6, Kale's Angel up front, which wouldn't shock me. Lyle the Crocodile sitting close. Encanto was forwardly placed last time out. That's the 2. Wouldn't be surprised to see that one close. Cali Cat, another one who could be in the mix early on. I don't think Artislis wants to be too far out of it either. Day and Age doesn't want to be too far out of it. So you go through this field, there could be a lot of these horses flashing early speed. I'll be using the 10, the 7, the 3 all over the place. Then I get to the 4, Lyle the Crocodile, who's a little green going into the turn, wanted to go. That's the reason why I have him slotted just a little bit lower. I hope he's the type of horse who can sit. Maybe he was just a little fresh there, and Rispoli can get him to sit off a bit. 10, 7, 3, and then others to include 4, 5, and 8 if you were going a little bit deeper. But I'll see if we can get some prices in here with the 10, Bodhisattva, the 7, Game Warrior, and then the 3 is the horse to beat, obviously, Ironman Cal. That's the Oceanside, the traditional opening day feature. Let's move to race number 9 at Del Mar. I really do think the GM as a short price horse in here could be a very tough favorite, maybe a logical single for some. He's lightly raced. He's 4. You can see each of his races has followed by time off. So this will be the first time he's able to race and then go back-to-back races within about a month. Second start off that long layoff. He has the running style to put himself right in the mix. He cuts back from 6.5 to 6 furlongs. I'm going to play the GM, and I would single him in any late exotics. Minister Shane, who is his main contender, has been off since March of 2024. So a long layoff for this guy who is now a 7-year-old, and he's not really a win machine as it was. Feel like the GM has more upside. If I was looking for others, the 8, Let Me In, comes off of a pretty good runner-up effort last time out. The 1, If you want to go deeper or use some underneath horses, No More Ding Dongs, I thought ran pretty well. First start off of off the bench, and now we'll go second start back after that layoff from September to June. And then to the outside, the 9, Titanic Thompson, the 10, Poker Night at V's. Neither one of them would shock to see them running well. Just feel like the horse with the upside in here, though. Lightly raced. That's the GM, the number 4. Moving to the 10th and final on opening day at Del Mar. Been waiting back for the 5-4 Arrogate to run. We're watching this replay. He's the number 5. And this one, she is the number 5. This is a 3-year-old filly. She was in the same race with Auntie, Miss Artois, Church Lady, and then for Arrogate was also in there. I think that was it. Icons Only was also in that race too. So we're watching the 5 who mid-pack. She is the gray that you could see. She's down on the inside. So she's not in a bad spot here. And I think she runs pretty well in this race. She, right about here, starts getting pushed back. He just doesn't have very much room down there. She's in a really tight spot. So now she's lost some position, and you could just see she's kind of pinned in, and she never really has much of an opportunity to run. Keep in mind, this race is June the 7th at Santa Anita, and she had not raced since July of 2024. So 10 months. Now she just doesn't have anywhere to go. And it's going to take her a little bit to really stretch her legs. I thought she ran very well for the first start back off the bench, and I'm expecting her to step forward off of this race. Right here, she's kind of looking around. Where is she going to go? Do they try to go inside? Not really. Now let's alter course. We're looking in between. No, now we got to come all the way to the outside. Oh, now I'm going to get bumped in between horses here late. So having to alter course there, I thought may have cost this horse. A little unlucky, but sneaky good effort from 4 Arrogate. I'm going to use the 5 all over and the 6 Lady Cheek. This is a really nice effort on June the 8th. 3 deep pressing, opened up 3 and got nailed. Pretty wicked beat. 5 and 6 all over for me. The 12 Auntie, she ran pretty well in that first start going 2 turns. I had her in that race, so I was like, I feel, when you have a horse and you bet them and they lose, then you probably sometimes feel a little disappointed. She got the trip she wanted. She was able to slow it down after going a little quick early. She's drawn to the outside. She'll probably be forwardly placed again. What do you do with the 2? Nafisa, who has 5 seconds and 2/3. And we've seen this horse burn money repeatedly. Beaten favorite, beaten favorite, beaten favorite 3 in a row. Beaten favorite 4 of the last 5. Certainly good enough to win. It feels like there's a lot of others in here with more upside. I like both the 5 and the 6 more. 12, interesting horse for me. Then what do you want to do with the 2? Another one, I thought the 7 Ribbons, kind of a fun wild card if you're looking to go a little bit deeper here. We'll see if we can close it out with the 5 for Arrogate and the 6 horse stretching out from the sprint on the turf to the mile on the grass. It's a look at opening day at Del Mar. We wish you the best of luck playing the races all throughout the Del Mar meet. Make sure you head to shop.drf.com for everything you need. And when you want some more help, chat.drf.com. Ask DRF AI. Good luck, everyone, on opening day at Del Mar.